Today we are going to read a story from the Jesus Storybook Bible. You might notice that I'm not wearing my normal black pastor's shirt. I'm wearing this really cool shirt I got from Pinecrest Lutheran Leadership Camp, and it says on it, God's Squad. What's it mean to be part of God's squad or God's team? Well, we're going to learn a little bit more about that today in this story called Let's Go. Jesus left the desert and set about the great rescue. You see, Jesus had been in the desert for 40 days and 40 nights, so this is at the beginning of his ministry. He was going to get God's people back, but first he needed to find some helpers and friends. He had a lot to do. He would need some people to help him. Who would make good helpers, do you think? Who do you think? Well, clever people and rich people and strong, important people, right? Well, some people might think so, but I'm sure I don't have to tell you that they'd be wrong. Because the people God uses don't have to know a lot of things or have a lot of things. They just have to need God a lot. One day, Jesus was walking by the Sea of Galilee when he saw some brothers and friends mending their nets. They were poor fishermen. Jesus called out to them, "Let's go." See, there they are mending their nets, and there's Jesus. Oops. Peter, Andrew, James, and John looked up at this man on the shore, and they couldn't explain it. Their boats needed to be put away, their nets needed mending, fish were still wriggling on the shore. But something about this stranger made them just drop their nets and their fish, leave their boats and everything, and follow him. This God-man was like no one they had ever met. When they looked at Jesus, their hearts filled up with a wonderful forever sort of happiness. And inside, it was as if they were running free in an open field. Jesus asked 12 people to be his helpers: Peter, Andrew, James, and John, Matthew, Philip, Bartholomew, Thomas, another James, which I'm sure got confusing sometimes, Simon, Thaddeus, and Judas. Meeting Jesus would change all of them forever. Do you think Jesus just stopped with those 12 people? No. He invited all sorts of people to be on his team throughout his ministry. Women and men and children and folks from all different walks of life with all different experiences, all willing to follow him and to be a part of his mission, to share God's incredible love with all people. That's pretty cool. And guess what? Jesus is still collecting disciples, is still looking for people to be part of God's squad, to be on God's team, to follow Jesus and to trust him, to be loved by him, and to love others, to do things that are good in the world. I think you could do that. I think that if you are a follower of Jesus, you are part of God's squad. I think that's really an amazing thing. I'm so glad that we all get to be a part of this journey together. Will you pray with me? Repeat after me. After me. Dear God, thank you for loving us. Thank you for calling us to be your disciples. A member of your team, part of God's squad. Help me to love other people, to do your work in the world. Above all things, help me to follow you. In Jesus' name, amen. I'll see you later. Thanks so much. Go team.